Giannis Antetokounmpo, his trade market is starting to heat up. The NBA draft is right on the corner, and it is reported that the Bucks are hoping to make this deal happen, trading him away before the NBA draft, which makes sense. They want draft capital. They want to be able to use whatever picks they have to start their rebuild now. At 31 years old, he is quite valuable. He's a former MVP. He's the reason why they won an NBA championship almost inexplicably not that long ago. But I feel like that there is, I can't believe you wrote down what you did at the bottom of this.
It's legitimate.
I can't believe you.
It's legitimate.
That's not a legitimate.
Your team's in this.
Okay. No, I'm not saying that these are, I didn't write down every single team on here as, oh, these are the most likely options. These are the ones that are brought up often, and I want to kind of discuss if these all make sense. The Celtics are the one that appears to be at this current moment, the most easy to talk ourselves into. There is weird drama happening with Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown had a really good season. Jason Tatum comes back from the injury. And after Jaylen Brown was a MVP candidate, which sure.
Yeah, I know.
It was the Mickey Mouse MVP candidate at the bottom of the list with all the really good players, the Shea and Jokic and Luka and Wemby. He was just kind of there. He's the fifth guy.
Yeah.
It was his first time where it kind of felt like, and he even said that this was, I think, his favorite season or something along those lines. Not the season that they won an NBA championship, the one in which they fell short and got knocked out against a really bad 76ers
seed.
team. Yeah, really bad 76ers team. They weren't the 8 seed.
Were they the 7?
No, they were the 6. Because the Celtics. No, wait, the Celtics were the 2 seed. They were the 7.
There you go.
You could include Jaylen Brown and a couple of these pieces that they have, these back-end roster players that are really good for them in order to get Giannis over to you. But is Giannis the type of guy that you want to add? They are arguably, with how impactful they are at shooting the three, adding somebody with a rim presence like Giannis would be a nice yin to yang for Jason Tatum. I think that out of any of these, as we'll kind of poke through the rest of them, the Celtics, the writing's on the wall. It's on the wall that he ends up going to Boston.
You would, I mean, look, Tatum's a huge Kobe guy. This would be the modern equivalent of getting him his Shaq, which is super annoying to even think about right now because screw the Celtics forever. Jaylen Brown's super annoying, and if he wants to run the show, I don't think he really wants to run the show, though. I think he wants to be thought of the guy that runs the show. I think Jaylen Brown is a little vain. I think he's more vain than a lot of people consider him to be. If he wasn't, would he be painting on his hair and letting it rub off on players in game? Or would he just let the shit go bald? Okay, so you got vanity problems in Boston, but Giannis would be a star. Giannis would take over that city. They're a better basketball city. I feel like he served really well in Milwaukee, which isn't a basketball town. It's a football town. Boston, you got it all. He could be a hero there. It would make them an immediate championship favorite if you had Tatum and Giannis on the same team. And if he wants to get another ring, it is Boston. Their coach, Missoula, I can't stand, but he's a good coach. People keep yelling at me that he should have been coach of the year this year after a first-round exit. Sit on your own thumb, but whatever. I just can't I can't fathom it. It's so undesirable for me to think about. Yeah, Giannis joining the Celtics that it'll probably happen because basketball just hates the fan. Yeah, it hates you if you are a fan of anybody but Boston or the Lakers.
The Cavs are the next most likely team that I think that we could talk ourselves into because you could include Evan Mobley with Donovan Mitchell being a free agent in 2027. Would you instead include Donovan Mitchell? But that seems like that would be kind of a silly approach to go with. I feel like Giannis would fit nicely in here, but do you really feel secure in getting rid of Mobley, who's proven to be like a really young, promising piece on your team, to add Giannis into the fold? I think that would make the most sense because at the end of the day, the other three options that have been presented in a lot of these articles that outline landing spots for Giannis, I don't think him with the Knicks anymore makes sense, even though that was talked about in the preseason, because you'd probably have to include Cat. But if they reach the finals this year or they put together a really competitive Eastern Conference final performance, why would they break up the current roster? Yeah. You just brought in Karl Anthony Towns because he was the right piece that you needed for this playoff run. you'd be starting from scratch once again with trying to like reestablish the chemistry. This is a chemistry-based team. The Heat, I just don't think that they have anything to make a deal like this happen. Are you going to just swap him for Bam and then draft capital?
I hate that because if you already have effective size on your team, you already have it. Like, and that's what Giannis is providing at this point in his career is effective size. Some game breaker ability, some of that, and some very consistent reliability on the court. But if you're a team that already has the 4-5 covered and you have dudes that are there, then you just round out. Then you round out with other skills with your 3, your 2, and your 1 and find scorers. I think it's pretty easy for teams in the NBA once they have their big man or they have the size that can get them 30 to just round it out and say, here's our balance. Here's what we got. So forcing Giannis onto a team just puts you in is Giannis better than the guy that we have? And is it worth it? Like, I can't get fleeced at that point. If we already have a guy that we like that is all-star caliber player, like I can't get fleeced losing this guy for Giannis. And then I'm also giving up a pick or something. Like, I don't think that would make a ton of sense. It makes sense for the Celtics. They don't have anybody down there. They don't have a big that's really working. So, I mean, the Cavs have it. The Knicks have it. I think Giannis is better than Cat but the Knicks have it. He's proven himself for people to say, yeah, I would want Cat to stay. Bam, 83-point warrior this year. Obviously effective for the Heat. I don't know.
I mean,
Heat fans are up and down on Bam, man. I don't know. They
get
are
rid of
spoiled rotten down there.
A heartbeat to go and get Giannis, but I just don't think that they have enough else to make that happen. They'd have to completely gut their roster. They just don't seem like a team that's like equipped to take on a big star like that. The other two that's been discussed is the Timberwolves, and I don't get that.
Hate that.
They literally just did the reverse of this when they traded away Cat. They got rid of Cat in order to round out the roster and to have more depth and to have more options. So you're going to trade like Jaden McDaniels and Rudy Gobert and whatever else to make this trade go through.
Right.
You're going back to the original version where you only had 2 really good players and you had a completely thin team. This is the most balanced that the Timberwolves have been, to the point where they're competing with the Spurs in their series. Probably not going to end up surviving that series, but I don't like that either. Why the hell did you write down the Timberwolves or the Wizards?
Because it's possible. Hey, it's entirely possible for the Wizards to make a trade. I saw this pitch today on Twitter or X. It is the everything app. Anthony Davis, the number 1 overall pick for Giannis, and the number 10 overall pick. It piqued my interest. It piqued me. I wouldn't mind it. I'm not
Why
thrilled.
would the Wizards do that?
Because Anthony Davis is already talking trash about the team, saying they're awful, which he's not wrong about. Okay, he's right. They're bad.
An honest
they're young.
leader.
Yeah. Oh, that's not a leader. But I'm not saying Bub Carrington is a leader either. Okay, so all right, let's take a step back here. Giannis already saved Milwaukee. All right, not a top echelon city in the United States, but he saved them. I wouldn't want to go from saving Milwaukee to saving Cleveland. All right. New York doesn't need saving. Miami doesn't need saving. Minnesota would just be another repeat of Milwaukee. Come save DC, brother. Come save DC. All right. You get to save a cool city. That's when you get a statue. Okay. You either save a bum ass city that has nothing going on. They give you a statue because you get 20,000 points, or you save a cool city. You save.
When is DC a cool city?
I know I'm being pretty liberal with that. That is a pretty liberal for that terminology. Okay, it's
a city.
I would say
they've got some stuff happening there. It's a dump.
More or less happening in DC than Cleveland.
Equal.
What?
I would rather.
No, that's nonsense. No, you're trying to inflict pain.
I would pick going to Cleveland before I would pick going to Washington.
What? Oh, you see, that's
because I know what's in Washington. It's a bunch of snobbish, politically based people, and I go to Cleveland. It's a sports town.
What about Boston? Is there more going on in Boston than DC?
Yes, but in a different way.
Better way? Don't you dare say better.
Both are kind of in an annoying way.
Okay.
But at least it's a sports city.
Look,
Cleveland's a sports city.
We need to entertain.
Not a sports city.
DC has to entertain. They have four major teams there, and an MLS team and a UFL team.
They have 4 teams there. They don't have 4 major teams.
Yeah, they have NHL. They have all the major sports.
Transplants there.
I
It's a transplant
agree.
City.
Let's get another transplant called Giannis Antetokounmpo who can score 25 in the paint.
I don't. If I'm the okay,
You just
but
links.
here's my issue.
Come on, well, half smoke.
I'm sitting here attacking Washington. If I'm Washington, you have the chance to pick and get AJ Dybantsa. I'm taking AJ Dybantsa.
He doesn't want to be there though, which, by the way, I think he's being a crybaby about. He's just freaking suck it up and live in Maryland and make the commute.
No, but apparently it's been stated that his camp is not going to try and force his way out. He wanted to stay in Utah, which was understandable. He finished his high school career in Utah. He went to BYU. His family apparently really likes it, but he's going to be fine there. It's far better when your team is gig ass like the Wizards. Take the opportunity to get the first overall pick
17 wins
in it is a historically good draft class.
Agreed.
So take the historically good player at the top of the historically good draft class.
Are any of them better? Well, are any of them better than Giannis or going to be better than Giannis?
I don't think that that's the question that you should be asking.
At this point in this conversation, that is the question.
Do you have the roster to take on Giannis? Do you have the roster for Giannis to come in to not just completely stink it up? No, he wouldn't stink it up. He would just be doing the shit that he did in Milwaukee, but in Washington, where the back end of that roster in Milwaukee, because it completely fell apart and collapsed since their title run, that they don't have the supporting cast to help him. So you'd be putting him on another team that doesn't have the supporting cast to help him.
We got a lineup here in DC, Joe. We got a supporting cast. How about Trae Young? You ever heard of him? You ever heard of Trae Young? He can throw the lob.
Sure.
Alex Sarr, former number 2 overall pick. What do you mean? It's 2 players in.
This is done.
How about what do you mean?
Done.
We would have Bilal Koulibaly coming off the bench.
Done.
Dude, what is it? No, we're not done.
Time out. Zero chance. Absolutely zero chance. No reason to buy into that crap.
Keyshawn George is young and hungry.
All right, that's
crazy.
No, I'm not letting you do this.
I'm saying if you have the number 1 overall pick, you should explore the option of Giannis. Okay, that's what I would say. I love Dybantsa though. I don't want Darren Peterson because he doesn't know that creatine makes you cramp. Did you see that?
Was that why?
He blamed it on. And by the way, I've seen the creatine cramping up close, and it looked exactly like that. Where you're playing, and then you just have to take yourself out, and you're done for, and it just shuts you down. Who in Kansas is letting that happen? So either he's dumb or all of Kansas's athletic department.
It's probably a mix of the two.